Friday.
Happy Friday.
Fun Day Friday. And without further ado, I want to bring in the amazing wildlife photographer extraordinaire, Margot Raggett.
Hello.
Hey, Margot.
Hello, darling.
Hi.
Welcome.
How are you? And welcome to our nest, darling. Now, you had the most extraordinary book launch on Monday. You are a wildlife photographer, and this one is called Remembering Cheetahs. Now, tell us about it, please.
Yes, my goodness. Well, I'll show it to you first so you can see how utterly beautiful the cover is.
Beautiful.
You are so talented.
lovely.
Yeah, go on.
No, well, I can't take credit for the cover. The picture isn't mine, but I make the book series. So these books are a collaboration. I asked lots of the best wildlife photographers in the world if they will donate images for me for a book on a different species every year. I started because I saw a poached elephant in Kenya 5 years ago and was so heartbroken. I just thought I have to do something about this. So started asking photographers if they give me a picture. They all said yes. And the first book was Remembering Elephants. And that I thought would be a one-off, but it was so successful. Everyone started saying, well, you've got to do another one. And 5 years later, I'm doing a fifth.
And you have amazing supporters from Ricky Gervais to Pierce Brosnan. I mean, worldwide celebrities and people alike honour this because it is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think, you know, what I've discovered with these books is everyone wants to do something if they can. We're all desperately sad about the state of conservation. I just saw David Attenborough's new documentary at the weekend, and it's heartbreaking. And I think all of us want to do something. So actually for celebrities, they can hold our book up and try and give us some support and spread the word about it. And then all of the profits that we raise from selling the books go to conservation projects. So we've raised more than £638,000 as of today. And that's before we launched this book.
That's amazing.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Margot, I think really, you know, like you say, people should do something. I don't think it should. We have to do something, and we have to do it now. All of us should have to come together. But how many books have you done, and how many books do you think you still want to do?
Goodness, well, so this is the fifth. So I've covered elephants, rhinos, great apes, lions, and now cheetahs. And honestly, the number of species I could cover is endless. I'm constantly lobbied from people making suggestions like wild dogs, giraffe, tigers, polar bears, whales, sharks, and the list of all of the species are going in the wrong direction at the moment. All down to man. So I've got a job for life if I've got the energy to keep going, I think. Of
course you have. I also want to say you're a breast cancer survivor, and obviously you are. I'm also ambassador for Walk the Walk, the Moonwalk. It is a fantastically important thing, and you want to encourage everyone always to check themselves, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. So bizarrely, the books and my breast cancer feel intricately linked to me. I actually found out I had breast cancer on the day that our Kickstarter to fund Remembering Elephants ended 5 years ago. So that morning we'd been successful raising the money to make the book, and the evening, instead of celebrating, I was being told I had breast cancer. But I mean, I was lucky. The type I had, I just needed lumpectomies and radiotherapy and tamoxifen. I'm coming to the end of my 5 years now, but I like to try and support other women and encourage everyone to test themselves. The reason I was lucky is because I caught it early.
Absolutely.
I found a lump myself and went straight to the doctor, didn't hesitate, and got on, you know, with the surgery as quickly as I could. And sadly, I lost my father to prostate cancer 2 years ago, and he was caught too late. So I know the difference about how catching early is important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I've worked with breast cancer care for quite a long time because my mother was also a recoverer. But my auntie, because she had it before her a long time ago, wasn't as fortunate. And as you said, it wasn't diagnosed, even though she went backwards and forwards to the doctor. And he said, no, there's nothing wrong. This was in the 70s. And of course, now we're much more aware. And I think that's really important. But do you think having that experience, which of course is the most terrifying experience, but do you think actually it's changed the way you think about things? I mean, has it been transformational for you? It's like so many people, it has been.
Yeah, I just don't take for granted life anymore. I you know, I'm in my 40s. At that point, you know, I thought I'd go on forever, and I was, you know, on diagnosis, having to face the reality that, you know, I might only have a few years left at that point, because you don't know how your treatment's going to go. And I just thought, I'm going to make a bloody difference in the time I've got here, and that's pretty much how I've lived my life since. I think you just have to not put off till tomorrow something you could be doing to make a difference today.
Exactly. And Margot, with what you're doing with, you know, with climate change and the terrible things, and as you say, the extinction of certain species, what do you want to do next? I mean, obviously you're just going to carry on with your fabulous work, but is there anything you would particularly like to do next and concentrate on?
Well, I never decide the next species until I've got one launch out of the way, because it's so consuming that I can
imagine.
And then I need to have a little sleep for a week or two, and then I'll decide. But it's not just what species I'll do next. I'm always thinking about how I can make this more global. So we have got fantastic global support from the celebrities. I got distribution in South Africa and the US this year for the first.
Wonderful.
I should be trying to get distribution in, you know, all over the world for these books, because, you know, they tell us stories. They're called remembering, because it's what we might only be doing if we don't stop this now. We might only remember these species in picture books. So I'm on a mission to educate the world.
Excellent, well done.
No pressure there.
I can't wait to see one in person. But what I really want to know, and unfortunately she's got off my knee now, my Chihuahua actually said, can you do Save the Chihuahua? I had to tell her that she didn't have to, because she's not a species that needs saving. But what is your actual favourite animal?
Oh goodness, it's hard to say. I think if I could only go on safari one more time and had one day, I would be watching baby elephants. I mean, they're just the best thing to watch.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah,
they are so gorgeous, and the fact is that, and I mean, I've actually stroked one, and they don't feel like you think they should either. They're so lovely and so intelligent, such beautiful creatures. I hope we can do something. I really hope that we can help. So if the Wonderbirds in our nest, because we are not going to be extinct, we're going on forever. If we can do anything to help, we would love to support you as much as we can. We'll put you on our website. We'll put you everywhere. You've been an amazing guest, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. It's lovely to meet all of you,
darling.
Thank you, Margot.
Thank you, Margot.
Okay,
bye, Margot. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Extraordinary to have that vision and to know you're going to make a difference to the world.
Yeah,
so
it really is amazing.
It's wonderful.
I feel very, very sad that we've got. I mean, that documentary with David Attenborough the other night. I mean, it was terrifying.
Yes,
isn't it?
And thank goodness for him. Yeah, thank goodness for him.
You know, he said I'm 93, and this has all happened in my lifetime. And you think, how on earth could this happen? It's a greed. Why human beings? Just, you know, and what is so interesting, isn't it? Don't you find that, I always think about this, all the people that work for these big firms who are doing these things are just, what they're doing is they're getting rid of their own future. Why would you want to do this?
I think they don't think about that, and I think it's all
about money now. It's all to do with money.
It's all about now and the economy, as you say. Yeah.
Who's
very
next?
scary.
It's very true. Anyway, yes, we have the wonderful, fantastic friend of us all, Hilary O'Neill.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Hello, darling. See you.
It's lovely in your conservatory with your little
looks like the middle of
sunflowers
summer, darling. It looks amazing.
Very lovely.
Thank you.
So pretty.
Thank you very much, girls. Lovely to see you. My friend, I had really naff cushions there for years, and I kept looking at them going, nah, something needs to be done. And my friend is a singer, but she's also the most incredible designer, Helen York, and I just gave her the colours I wanted, and she's just done.
Oh,
yeah,
amazing.
That looks lovely.
So there you
Absolutely,
go.
darling. It's so lovely to have you in our nest this afternoon. It's lovely to have you. Hills, we've known you for ages. All of us have known you for years. Everyone's going to say, I've known her longer, I've known her longer. Well, they probably have, but we've known you forever. And you are one of the most talented human beings I have ever seen in my life. When I have watched you on stage, you've completely blown my mind, and you are just an amazing entertainer. You've probably done more shows as well than anybody else, but you are just brilliant. So we are really honoured to have you here. But that's it. I'm not going to say anything nice about you anymore now. But that is that she is just brilliant. She's a brilliant impressionist. a brilliant singer, a brilliant everything. But now, how have you coped during lockdown, darling? What's been happening to you?
Well, first of all, lockdown stopped me seeing you for a coffee, so I didn't like that much, Debbie.
No.
Lockdown, right. So I actually had a sort of a lockdown from October, because when I got off my last cruise ship, October 24th, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to perform again. Thank you for all your kind words there. But I live with my mum, and my mum isn't very well. So I decided I can't perform anymore. I have to add, for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, and I just got my head around no panto. I had to pull out of Menopause, the musical tour. I just got, and then lockdown happened. In answer to your question, I fell in love with gardening.
Wow.
I am a little bit obsessed, and I'm now even planning when my tulips and daffodils and little baby irises are going to be going in the pots. That was my sanity. It was my sanity with the mum situation, but also with the lockdown. I found it reasonably easy. I found it easy to cope with, because all my lovely contemporaries, right, looking at me right now.
I think we're a bit younger than you, actually, darling. I think we're. Sorry.
Oh, Harriet, you're so much younger. Nobody's working. So you know when you're on a level playing field. So what I do mostly the cruise ships. So my lovely ships and all my friends are just kind of on this pause button. So my heart wasn't breaking with everybody going, oh, look at me in the Seychelles. Here I am in Bora Bora. And I wanted to go like that. Nobody was working. So I was kind of cool. And obviously, like everybody else, I got into baking. And then with baking comes eating the cakes. And then with that comes the weight goes on, and you go, oh my God. So yeah, that was my kind of sanity. And also I used to have a thing in the summer, Debbie, and all of you. My friend made this sign for me. I put this in the garden. I used to have little visits from my friends.
Oh, brilliant. That is brilliant.
I used to gather the garden furniture around, and lots of pots of flowers, and I'd invite people here where it was safe, social distancing, way back in the garden when it was nice. And that kept me sane, seeing the whites of people's eyes, your friends. It was just heaven.
Oh, how brilliant. Darling, I wanted to talk to you a bit, because my mother also had dementia, and it's a thing that people are only just coming to terms with in a public sense, of being able to talk about it, because it was something that was often in our youth shut away, not discussed, not shared. And I think, and it's so important to share that journey. And I know my mother over 25 years began to disappear, and she left us a couple of years ago. But it is the most extraordinary, bizarre experience, caring and loving for somebody that is sometimes there and sometimes not. And to be with her in this difficult time as well must have been an extraordinary sort of mountain to climb.
Yes, it is. So she fell out of bed Feb 6 last year, diagnosed April with a mixed dementia, and so we've got Alzheimer's and
vascular.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I haven't really got my head around what the difference is in both of them. However, yeah, it's hard because I'm the only carer. We have no family. My mum doesn't have any family. I don't have any family. So there's just me and my mum. So I'm the carer, and also Val is not more or less okay a lot of the time. And then like last night, midnight, I went to bed early, couldn't sleep, typical, wanting to, be all fresh for this afternoon's chat, etc. And yeah, it's always the same, isn't it? You never sleep when it matters. It's just like
never.
Yeah.
Like an audition or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, midnight, she walked into my room and went, "The cat's on my bed," and I went, "We haven't got a cat." And and I got up, and she said, "I'm sorry." It was a very small cat, and I went, "Yeah, we don't have a cat, Mum." So she went to the loo, I tucked her back in, and that was it. So there's moments where it sort of slam dunks you when you go bang like that. Normal chats. We can enjoy Corrie, we can enjoy Gardener's World and all the little things we watch together.
Yeah.
But she's progressing at the moment where you say, "What's your address?" She will say 45 Woodfield Way, which is North London, where I was born and moved from.
Yeah,
it is the past that they seem to hold on to longer, and thank goodness, because those give them moments of continuity and presence, because at least you can converse about where she grew up.
Yeah,
and I think that's important.
It is important.
Absolutely.
She's not in another world, but there are flashes of it. I'm seeing it now. And I have to say something really honest to you, and I've not said this, I mustn't get choked, but I haven't told most of my closest friends yet, but I am seeking therapy because I'm not coping. So
very good idea.
yeah, and so I've got a dementia specialist looking after me on a one-to-one. How are you coping? And I've also got 2 fabulous people in my life. David Knight, who's a hypnotist. Doesn't mean I'm going to turn into a donkey going in a wardrobe or something weird with hypnosis, and also my friend Cuddy Cudworth, who is it's all things psychological and getting my head, because I was being off with her. I'll be really honest with you. I felt that I was losing myself. I felt that I didn't know me anymore, and I really panicked because I didn't like who I was turning into. And the last thing I wanted to be was resentful. I want to care for my mum. It's my job and I love her, but I hated who I was. And I went, right, enough already. And I sat down with my mum. We had a chat. She said, I'm going to bed really sad, the way you speak to me sometimes. And I went, you're right. And the reason the chat started, and this is actually what started it off. I was 60 in August, and my mum hadn't written in my birthday card. And I said to her, are you going to write in my birthday card, Mum? She said, well, to be honest with you, we haven't been getting on very well, and I couldn't think of anything nice to say.
Oh no.
And I just said, it changes today. It changes today. I'm not saying I was vile to her all the time, girls. I wasn't vile to her all the time.
No, of course not.
No.
But it's a very common thing. It's a very common thing. I felt I was angry because my mother wasn't the same person that I knew and I wanted her to be. And then I realised I was just sad. And it was that realisation.
Can I just say something, Hills?
Yes.
When my mother's gone now, and she didn't die of that, she died of an aneurysm, but the lady next door to her took me in the house one day and said, your mother has probably dementia. And I said, no, she hasn't. Well, she said, believe me, I work with Alzheimer's and I work with dementia. She has. I said, don't tell me about my mother. I know my mother. She hasn't got Alzheimer's. She hasn't got dementia. She's a very strong woman. Don't tell me about my mother. And she went, calm down. I'm only telling you because it's on set and it's kind of, I said, no, absolutely not. And I walked away and I would not have it. I'm ashamed of that. Absolutely ashamed of it. But I couldn't face the thought that my mother would have Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And she had it's a long story after that, but what I'm saying to you is that to face it and to face your own mortality as well, which is what makes you do that, it was so devastating. And I never spoke to that woman again. I was so angry with her, I couldn't bear to even look at her. And I think that isn't that part of the therapy that maybe comes with that then?
Yeah, I think it is.
The acceptance.
Yeah, they have made me realise that the anger is perfectly natural, and you know, I've beaten myself up. I was going to bed and facing the wall and crying for 2 hours at a time, just
oh my gosh,
it's my safe place to be. And then I get up, cup of tea, and she go, oh lovely, any cake? I go, yeah, fresh cake for you. You know, just everything was fine. And I still go.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people are going through this. So I'm not special at all.
It's so wonderful to hear you talk about it. It's so important.
Being really honest, I've never spoken about it. Friends of mine.
No.
Anyway, I'm seeking help, and I think
good.
And my mum and I have fallen back in love with each other over.
Oh, I'm so glad.
We didn't ever not love, but we were really prickly, and and I'm trying to run a business and cope with all the lockdown stuff that's affected all of us, everybody out there.
Of course.
And I was about to implode, is it? I don't know, explode.
Yes.
It's quite understandable, actually.
You did explode, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I did tell Debbie. Yeah, I did. It was very strange. And Debbie actually hit the nail on the head. I think you're right. So I did this feeling better therapy over 2 days, and I did feel extraordinarily better. And then I had a day when I was not able to do much, and I was sitting down, and we had a lovely lady who comes and helps me clean and do the garden and stuff. And I said, Jo, I'm gonna have to leave you to it. Anyway, I got worse and worse during the day, and I ended up being so ill that I had to call the ambulance, and it was for me, my mum. So the paramedics came. I managed to ring my neighbour over the road and said, come over now, please. She came, so she was going between me being ill and my mum downstairs going, is she all right? Is she all right? Yes, she's fine, Val, don't worry, stay there. No, you don't need to go upstairs, all of that. And I've never been sicker in my life as that. And Debbie said to me, well, it may be something. Debbie, say what you said, because it was so interesting.
Well, I said, it's about the Louise Hay thing about, all of a sudden, all the anger was just coming out, all the venom, all the anger, everything that you felt. It made sense because you didn't know what you'd eaten. So what you were doing was releasing all of that.
I think you're right. And I don't want to tell anybody it was food poisoning, because I quite like to pride myself that I'm a good cook. So I'm not going to put that out there.
And also, Hilary, I was going to say, even though my mom, I think maybe, like Sherry was saying, I think it was the beginning of that sort of cycle of maybe, her memory loss. But it was very tough the last year because suddenly she had terrible mood swings. And I've never spoken about this before either.
Yeah.
And suddenly she would snap at me and say something. And we were on the verge of falling out. But fortunately, we came together right at the end and we had a fantastic time together.
Yeah.
But sometimes it was really difficult because it wasn't her talking to me, it was somebody else.
Yes, yes, I do know. And my mum has flashes of that, Dee. Not terribly, no violence, nothing like that.
No.
If you brought her online, you go, she sort of seems all right, but no, she's not.
It was
and
very,
I think
very
being on
difficult.
your own with it is very hard as well. Just as you say,
Yes.
no carer, it's just you. It's a fantastic.
And also, even though I got my head around, I haven't. My partner and I, Alan and I, he lives in Richmond, and he's got his 94-year-old dad living with him, and we can't even get together. And then places won't allow certain places to take people for respite. So I kind of feel a little bit trapped in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, of course, it's natural.
I can't even say, Mum, do you mind going in somewhere so Al and I can pop off to, weekend or something? I can't. So I've just got my head around it. It is what it is. And I am cool. I am.
You've done brilliantly.
Person.
You're doing brilliantly,
Hilary. My mother didn't drink. And then one day I went to her place and there was a bottle of brandy, which was 3/4 empty. And I said to her, are you drinking? She went, no. I said, well, what? Who's drank 3/4 of it? Oh, you would accuse me, wouldn't you? But there's nobody else here. And she was literally so pissed. She was like that. It's not me. I don't know why you would accuse me.
So at least awful. At least we can laugh at some comedic moments, as you say, which actually give us the lift.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, Hills, I think you are a saint. Giving up everything to look after your mummy and just being there as a good daughter. Honestly, you have been absolutely incredible, and I think our business is really hard anyway. But to actually say no, I'm going to put my mum first. Incredible.
It's
incredible.
I turned down. I said no, I can't. I just can't entertain, and even the worry of being as good as I can be for the event that they want me to do. I'm better to say no right now and just and I've got my management thing that I'm doing now with managing acts, and it really suits me because I can do that from here. This is where I work in my office.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Is that what you're doing next then, Hilary?
I started, yes, Sherry, it's O'Neill Management, and I look after, I pitch for things. I pitch all sorts of friends and people for things. I've got 4 acts going on the new series of Crackerjack.
Crackerjack! There's a Crackerjack!
Yes, so it's the second series. And I've pitched 4 acts for them, so I'm thrilled about that. And then my entire time really is taken up with 2 acts. One particularly is Max Fulham. Max Fulham is a comedy ventriloquist. I'll show you this lovely picture of him. This is so precious. You're all going to go, ah. I promise you will all go, ah, when you see this picture. Ready?
Oh.
Can you see that all right? Lovely Roy Bird. Beautiful Roy.
Yes.
Sorry, it's a bit glossy on camera, and that's lovely Berwick Kyler, of course, the famous panto dame from the Theatre Royal York, I think, or Theatre Royal York. And
I think so, yeah.
anyway, that's my Max with the two. So starting in the business, he's 21 yesterday, and he is phenomenal. And I also look after a mind reader called Matt Daniel Baker. And
Wow.
so all my effort is going into the boys at the moment, and they're out working. They're doing 4 nights this week. They're working because
Really?
yes,
Well done.
yeah,
Wonderful.
4 Friday, Saturday. They're doing the Butlins resorts. The resorts are open.
Really?
They're open again.
Well, they
It's
are.
amazing, isn't it? Your creativity is which is innate to you as a singer, performer, comedian, as you said, all the things that you do.
Mm-mm.
Also now being creative for other people. It's the same
Yeah.
thing,
Wonderful.
just a different
It
venue.
is.
Harriet, do you know what? I never thought I would get the buzz and the fulfillment from management as I do when I perform my own show on the ships or in the theatres.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll get a buzz out of doing what we do. But seeing my boys, you know,
Oh.
just the show and the effort, and we work together. I'm totally involved. It's real personal management, you know. I'm on the
Brilliant.
phone every day.
That is amazing.
Can you take us all on, darling? Would you mind?
Please.
Yes, I'd be delighted. Actually, the Wonderbirds they should do a theatre tour, 100%.
Well, there
Yes,
you go,
we're
Hels. Can you
doing
book
what
us
we
out,
will.
please? We'll be yours.
Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you.
You know
Oh,
what?
Hilary,
You'd
I'll
pack-
tell you what. I've only just met you, but we do go back a long way, don't we?
Yes, we
But
do.
we do.
Very long way.
Very, very long way. But honestly, it's been such a joy to have you on the show. And I really want you to come back and talk to us more. Will you do that?
100.
About your boys.
Yes.
Please.
My boys.
Maybe you could give us a song next time, darling.
Please, would you come and perform?
I'll do you want a song? I could do a song for you. I could do a little Joe Pasquale for you just to finish up because you love Joe Pasquale.
Please.
Yes, please.
Please.
Oh, you lovely ladies, you're all minxies, aren't you? Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah, little Joe Pasquale for you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I would love
thank
it.
you.
Yeah, do it.
Thank you.
All right,
I
darling.
tell you
We'll
what,
see you
Hilary,
soon.
the Wonderbirds on a cruise, wouldn't that be funny?
Oh my God, that would be amazing. That would
There
be
you go.
Darling, I think you have to have
Thank
security for
you.
that. We need
And,
to be
and
kept
Hilary,
apart.
before
and
we
security.
go, any anecdotes, any stories, any sort of stories about cruise or happenings on cruises?
Probably some that are after the watershed, but
We don't have
Say
a
it
shed,
now.
darling.
We are after the watershed.
We don't have a shed, darling, at all.
you don't have
Oh,
any
water.
no water. Okay.
No.
It's a lifetime of cruises, and I've been trying to think of one. I mean, the one of my most memorable wasn't so much funny, but hilarious in a way that they made me work in a Force 10. So I was.
Whoa.
My mum was with me on that cruise. We were sailing between Newcastle and the Norway, and so it was the roughest sea I've ever experienced, apart from going to the Antarctic, which was one day on the Antarctic was going down through Drake's Passage, which was horrific. Yeah, I went out and I did my show, and I'd love to have had a Fitbit on, because I cannot tell you in an hour how many steps I took during the show. Stand
Walking up and down. Yeah.
couldn't stand, not one syllable did I stand still on. It was like, I literally was like this. There was about 64 people made it out of 580. Real hardy seamen, like drinking and like,
Whoa.
what storm.
Incredible.
That stands out to me as like,
That's hysterical.
it was like
That's
a
so funny.
workout. It was like a workout. It
Yes,
was
so great
Fabulous.
workout.
Well, it's
Oh,
lovely
thanks,
to see you,
Hilary.
Angel. We'll see you soon. Come back and see us really soon.
I would love that. And
Please.
congratulations on this epic show. It's
Thank
just
you.
going down a storm, and you deserve every success with it.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
darling.
much. And you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was so uplifting. The idea of everything going
Yeah.
swimming.
I know. What a joy. What a joy.
Hysterical. Who's
Very
coming on
funny.
tomorrow?
We have the gorgeous, and he is gorgeous, isn't he? Clive Mantle is coming in to see us
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, I love
Oh, yes.
Mantle.
Yeah, talking about
Fabulous.
he's just written a load of new books and stuff, so we have loads and loads to
Yeah.
talk about.
I know.
Amazing.
Can't wait.
What an interesting
See you there.
Friday it's been.
I
It
think-
always has. Lots of animals and lots of, well, just really interesting conversations. I think
know.
I've got a lot to think about now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Lovely.
See you tomorrow, darlings.
See you
All right,
tomorrow,
darling.
guys.
See you soon.
Bye. 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 Bye.